Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us today for our video on how automation and new technologies are changing the finance function. During this video, we will provide you with tips on why the finance function can harness new technologies to work smarter and drive better decisions. I'm Dee Houchen, part of Oracle's marketing team, and I will be your host today. For this topic, I am joined by Mark Hulyer, who is a partner in Deloitte's technology practice. Mark, welcome to our studio. And maybe you could start by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much, Dee. So as you said, I'm a partner in Deloitte. I have been with the firm for about 20 years, and my experience is around helping clients with finance transformation. So in modern, recent times, all these new technologies that we're going to talk about today have been the important things that clients want to talk about and implement in their business. Brilliant.
So talking about new technologies, as we both know, there's a lot of new disruptive technologies in the market that are changing the way companies do business and changing the way the business models they have. Do you want to tell me a little bit about your view on these disruptive technologies and how they affect finance?
Yeah, so finance is very much at a crunch time at the moment. We call it finance in a digital world. And these disruptors are really going to change the business. I think what we are seeing is in the next kind of 7 years, the business of finance will be remarkably different. So the technology we're talking about, there are predominantly 6 of them. There's RPA or robotic process automation. Yep. There's AI or machine learning. There's visualization. There's cognitive capabilities, and there's tools like blockchain. So these are tools which at one point were outside of the main domain, but what we're seeing now, they are working their way into the business and becoming core tools which finance can use to make a real difference.
So if we start with maybe RPA and automation, how do you see that affecting finance?
Yeah, so RPA is becoming more and more commonplace. It's taking out some of the activities which we would have seen as being very transactional and which don't actually add a lot of value in the overall scheme of finance processing, but add a lot of costs. So they can make sure that the process is more efficient, less costly, and more right first time. Our clients are using them in the realms of the accounts payable department, in the processes around close, and these are really generating benefits. This means that the finance function can focus on the exceptions to the rule and helping with the business partnering and providing the insights using those other tools. So RPA is becoming a common theme in everything that we're seeing and we're doing.
Yeah, no, we're seeing the same thing, especially in the area of kind of account reconciliation and those type of, really bulk transactional areas. So thinking about the finance department, what kind of questions should they be thinking about if they're trying to explore or looking at how they could explore RPA?
So as I said, RPA is becoming very, very important. The first thing is to think about this as a small piece of work, to target a small transactional area and then look to scale it from that small transactional area to the rest of your business. Pick an area in your business where you have a high transaction volume. Yep. So, for instance, something which involves hundreds and thousands of transactions a year, something like the payables process is always a great place to start. Then look to places where you've got a lot of human intervention and which tends to result in human errors. So the combination of those are probably the 3 areas I would suggest clients to think about firstly when they go to implement an RPA solution.
Yeah, that kind of links really nicely with kind of one of the ways, our finance function in Oracle to things, because they say try something, fail, refine, and get it to work much more at scale. Yeah. So that ties in very much with what you're saying. So if we think about, how we would complement RPA with our cognitive technologies, let's say AI, how do you see those combinations working?
Yeah, so I think RPA obviously can simplify a lot of the complexities around transaction processing, but the cognitive functionality is very, very important for us to provide insight into effectively what's going on. So, you may find that on an ongoing basis, you're always receiving a transaction that's failing for this reason. Cognitive can allow us to feed back that insight into the RPA process and allow us to change the way in which the RPA works. So these are technologies that work hand in glove.
No, I agree. And I think what we're seeing is that combination is where our clients are actually getting the most value out of having intelligent applications built in within the software. Do you maybe have a use case or a case study that you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, So the best example is a client of ours who started this process, again, as I suggested, in one of the small areas, in the accounts payable function. They had essentially a 100% touch rate on every single payables invoice. So, you know, what did that mean? The cost of an invoice processing was significant. Yeah. So we started off with them, put this into place such that the RPA technology would, you know, use its rule base to effectively process the invoices. At the moment, 70% of the invoices that now come through are non-touched. So only 30% of them require any human intervention.
Brilliant reduction. You may have seen on stage at Open World in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago that, you know, Larry showed voice interaction through Alexa with Oracle Digital, which integrates with our cloud software, that gave, you know, the ability to have simple responses inquiring on somebody's availability, but as well as using things like asking what the revenue within Japan was or what's our best-selling product. So, you know, we're seeing a lot of that interaction between the user experience as well as machine learning and chatbots to make it much more engaging for our business users.
Yeah, and Dee, I think what we're seeing is some of those technologies that we're so used to using in normal life or at home, such as telling your Alexa to turn the music up or whatever, those are going to become commonplace technologies in the business. Those are going to be the things that we see every day, but, you know, in the very near future.
Absolutely, increasing that productivity within the workplace. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
For further information, please follow the link at the end of this video. Thanks also to our audience. We hope you find this Q&A session valuable. Have a great rest of the day, and bye-bye for now.